The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Coming up tonight, a Bimini family upset over alleged abuse, including of a sexual nature. Yup, that's according to what the man's mother and grandmother is saying. We hear the story and get into it. The new bin tax system has many people talking, asking questions, confused before its September 1st implementation. And did you see the viral video of a fight in the IHOP at the Mall at Marathon location? Pancakes and punches. A not-so-sweet mix-up. The restaurant responds tonight. They've had the syrup and just... Anyways, we'll get into it coming up. It's all straight ahead this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. A mother and grandmother are demanding answers tonight, outraged over what they describe as shocking abuse allegedly suffered by their son and grandson while in police custody. Linton Ritchie Jr. picks up the story from here.
It was a 48-hour nightmare for Hakeem Roll, who, according to his grandmother, Edith Rumer Johnson, was physically and sexually abused while in the custody of police in Bimini. Johnson alleges that the incident left her grandson with bruises, a swollen hand, and buttocks.
He pulled down his pants and he was beaten across the buttocks area with the bat. And that's when he started to beat him, and like trying to pull on his private part and stuff like that. The police officer asked him, say, you know who I am? So he said, yeah, you're the officer. So he said, no, I'm the effing devil.
According to his mother, Althea Roll, on August 14th, while selling golf carts, her son and another man were arrested by police near the cruise port in Bimini. She questioned the rationale for the arrest, as she claims her son was only doing what he was hired to do.
No loitering, no trespassing. However, okay, there's nothing there. I don't know if they want them not to be hustling and rather out there stealing. I don't know what they want them to do, but they hustling.
The incident, according to Roll, followed a search warrant that was carried out on her home for ammunition, but police found nothing. Hours later, she said she got a call that the hustling duo would be held for 48 hours. After the hold, Roll posted her son's bail, and that's when he gave her the heartbreaking news.
He said, Mommy, they beat me, saying they beat the next boy too. And they beat them with a bat. I asked him that 3 times. I said, Hakeem, please. And I said, Hakeem, please, just tell me you lying to me, please. I couldn't accept it.
It is also alleged that Hakeem was handcuffed to a cell bar while being hit with a bat about the body. But the young boy's grandmother claims there was an officer he credits for practically saving his life.
And he said 2 officers came to the door and they peeped in. And they closed the door. So there's 1 officer. The officer came there. The officer would stop him. He telling me, he say, what's going on? Hell going on there? Say, I ain't into this shit tonight. And that's how he gets to stop from beating him.
Following Hakeem's release, his mother says she sought medical attention at the Bimini local clinic, and now the family wants justice. They flew to Grand Bahama to file an official police report.
I prayed for this. I prayed about this from Friday. I keep praying that they don't touch my child while he's in there. As a mother who takes care of her children, this is really, 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 really heartbreaking.
According to Superintendent Nicholas Johnson, officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department and police press officer for the Northern Bahamas, that complaint is now under investigation. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
It really is a troubling story to hear, and for the mother and grandmother as well. I mean, their sons arrested for trying to do an honest day's work, something that if you on these islands and accustomed to how business, particularly the tourism business, they are trying to push the sales of golf or the rentals for golf carts. and it really is quite troubling. And the allegations that accompany that as well. I mean, was the police officer feeling a little frisky, allegedly, supposedly, reportedly? We're going to get into it this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Beyond the Headlines contributors. Good evening to each of you. Peggy Candace and Ellington Ferguson, good evening. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you both here.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
I want to know your thoughts on this. We heard the allegations from the parents of the two boys who were taken into custody for 48 hours. We heard the allegations. We understand they have flown to Grand Bahama to file complaints. And then even more troubling, the fact that not only were they beaten and why, but also allegedly may have been attempts at sexual assault.
Good evening, Bahamas. You say he was the devil, sound like that's a gay devil. And I hope the doctor's report is able to support what has been alleged and that this is dealt with. And thank God for the officer who refused to participate, who's an officer of integrity. And it goes to show that not all are alike. So I hope that this weed out some bad apples because it is needed in this country.
Again, Shanique, as we, on last evening, we talked right here on this show about police bad behavior within the force. None other than the Commissioner of Police talk about police themselves leaking out report. We got so many officers on the police force that are making it bad and making the road rough for their fellow colleagues who may be trying to do a proper job of policing this country. And we've got to be careful. These allegations, I pray God, and I don't see why the mother would give a false statement. They went to the hospital, and I'm sure the hospital would be able to see the bruises on the buttocks of the child. This is very, very unfortunate for somebody that they said that is actually at work doing a fair day's job. You don't have any real reason to arrest these people, or do you? What were the charges? I didn't hear the mother specify any charges that were levied against them. Mm-hmm. They're now released on bail, and I mean, there's no need for this. There's no need for this. I mean, come on, man. We've got to. I
mean, there's no need to beat allegedly these young men who were already in custody.
Absolutely.
If they were already in custody for whatever it is they would have done, what was then?
Yeah. What was the charges? What were they being arrested for?
What were they being arrested for, and also why then the need to exert physical punishment on them, and they already
sexual.
and then to try and grope the young men to do whatever else it is allegedly. Of course, we will continue to follow that and see exactly where the investigation leads. We understand it is a matter under investigation. Listen, you don't need to destroy another young man here in the Bahamas.
And the confidence.
And this don't need to be one of those long, drawn-out investigations. Did it happen? The officers in the station, did it happen? And simple, bring a report to the public. Let us know.
Absolutely. We're going to shift gears now. Should BPL pay customers for the constant blackouts? We know that last evening, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says, yes, many people should be subsidizing. Businesses, residents, and the rest of it. Well, customers say they have had enough, and some are calling on the Bahamas Power and Light to put money back in their pockets. Laurencia Smith has the story.
Bahamas Power and Light customers say the time has come for the power company to offer a rebate. After weeks of rolling blackouts this summer, customers say they've had enough.
They should at least take $100 off.
Half of whatever the bill is. Even if it's only 10%, it should be something.
At least one half or 50% off.
Now that's how much customers say BPL should pay up, arguing that they're paying their bills on time. However, they're not getting reliable service.
That's teething. Thief in the pure money, how you could turn the power off and don't give them the money back.
You cannot tell me this is 2026. We have put men on the moon and we can't keep the light on. We can't keep the light on.
The outages are not just disrupting lives. Customers say they're now hitting their pockets and hard, with spoiled food, damaged goods, and unexpected replacement costs piling up.
A fridge and a defreeze.
And sometimes You just can't go in the store and purchase it all the time and then come back and then put it in. Then when you look, you see another blackout.
Well, no TV, and there have been some damages with some of the electrical equipment we have as well.
And when asked whether they sought compensation from BPL, the response was telling.
I know they ain't give me nothing back.
I've been trying from that time, the last year when I did it, and I ain't getting nothing yet.
Why would you waste your time? Why?
On Monday, the deputy leader of the Free National Movement, Shannon Cartwright, put BPL on the spot, asking how the power company plans to address the real-life cost of the ongoing outages on Bahamian families and small businesses. He says the damages to appliance and equipment are adding up to the burden and is calling on the power company to set aside funds to compensate customers for their losses. But the former chairman of the power company, Leslie Miller, has a different view, saying that the rebate may not be worth it.
BEC will probably go broke for the amount of people that could legitimately put claims against them. Your televisions, the other apparatus in your home that you depend on, your computers and the like. It is not fair.
Back in July, BPL customers received a one-time $8.45 rebate, agreed by BPL and ERCA to resolve two long-standing regulatory matters involving more than $610,000 in fines. Laurentia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, we were just discussing here about, just as Laurencia said, that $8.45 rebate. We're happy that BPL realizes and understands about the rebate, but whoever came from Ellington, it is not the point. The point about it is this, though. The people must feel some relief of the misery that's happened and lasted all summer long, not just weeks, months.
Shanique, that's a good point. See, because where that came from was back in 2017, somewhere thereabouts, when BPL had some outages and they did not properly communicate on time. So ERCA sued them. That money was paid to ERCA. ERCA said to BPL, we don't want it. Share it out to the customers. That's where that $8 come from, not BPL. That's ERCA's money. But BPL, yes, you need to pay. You need to do something for consumers. I mean, the month of August would be fine. Here's a trick, BPL. I mean, the people light was hardly on. How much you going to lose? It's a secret. You're going to look good. Give them the month of August free. Their light was hardly on, so they didn't use much. I hope not. I think BPL need to do some sort of compensation. You can't just let it go like this. I'm waiting because I am sure at some point ERCA is going to call BPL to account for all of these outages and blackouts that we've been having.
I'll say this, if your light is not on, your meter is not running. And so when you're off, there's no charges. Additionally, if you don't feel the need to put in a claim for your lost goods and equipment, I can tell you that those claims are, it might take a while, but those claims are paid. How do I know that? Once upon a time, it was my job to pay those claims, and I did many of those claims.
Peggy, I hear
Nassau
you, but I'll tell you,
and Family Islands.
There are many households who obviously had no power for half the month, and their bills have doubled, if not tripled.
Well, that's a different matter, but I know.
Meanwhile, as frustrations mount about the power and the rest of it, relief seemed to be on the way for residents of Little Grand Key who have endured weeks without reliable power and have been forced to rely on generators. Bahamas Power and Light says a replacement generation unit is en route and expected to arrive on Tuesday. I wonder if you all can, the days of the week change, because today is Tuesday, and I understood from last week or the week before this generator was en route. So I am wondering exactly how they recreating the days of the week. Now, once it arrives, technical teams will install, test, and commission the unit as BPL works to restore and stabilize power at Grand Key. BPL says it is also advancing a long-term plan to increase generating capacity, provide backup power, and reduce the risk of prolonged outages. Here's more from BPL's Northern Regional Manager, Marvin Green. So Marvin Green, obviously, first restore power on Grand Key. And it's so lovely, right? I mean, just look at the images on the screen. Not that. That's Nassau. We know about that before. Grand Key, so beautiful there. But without power, you all for roughly 3 weeks now, and they are still waiting. Like, what's happening? This generator has been on the way there. I'd like to know if they're creating a new route to get to Grand Key. Like, what's happening? These are new sailors in Bahamian waters?
I think the problem is the Strait of Hormuz is closed, so it's been a challenge getting them through. It's just unfortunate. We just got to find a way to get these things done more quickly. I know we're a country made up of islands. I think something as important as this, there should have been whatever barge or boat that the government hired should have been able to pick them up from Portsea Dock or Clifton Pier, wherever they're picking them up from, and go direct to Grand Key. All of this delay and delay of the boat going there is unacceptable. It's just too long. We have to have quick measures where we can deal with these things, man. People are suffering.
I wish they had Mr. Green's clip so he
in
can
fact,
explain.
Peggy put a point right there. Let's hear from Marvin Green.
Yes.
They attempted to put the equipment on to the barge last evening. However, the resort that they had planned to use, they did not grant access to the barge, to the captain, to come in and get the equipment. So they then had to find another dock that was safe enough for the equipment to be loaded onto the barge. They eventually found another dock at another location, and they successfully loaded the generator and the other lifting equipment onto the barge. Now, the captain had made an attempt to start the journey. However, he could not because the tide was too low. And so right now, they have to wait. We have to wait to work with the tides. We obviously want to work safely. We know that the last time we sent a perfectly fine running generator from Moores Island to Walker's Key, there was a mishap in transit and that generator could not perform. We don't want to repeat that mistake. We want to cautiously, you want to do it expeditiously.
So in 3 weeks, I need you both to listen to me. In 3 weeks, they went to a resort area, and the resort area last night said no. In 3 weeks, the resort just last night said, no, you all can't use my docking facilities here. Go elsewhere. You all heard that? You all heard BPL?
I hope I did not hear correctly. I'm hoping. It's just unacceptable. Straight out unacceptable. I mean, you know you have this thing to do. You know what you need to do. You can talk about the dock wasn't available. You're supposed to know beforehand where I'm going to launch this from. Boom. If you're going to launch it from this resort dock, you should have had this conversation with them prior to that. Okay, you can talk about tide low, but every single morning you wake up, on the nose they tell you low tide at 9 o'clock, a high tide by 12 p.m. I mean, the logistics is just, come on, guys. Who's in charge?
The question of the night. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're just getting started tonight. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, are you all aware that there's this new bin tax system, a new bin number that's required for anybody doing business in the Bahamas? Yeah, September 1st, coming on stream. We're going to talk about that after the break. Stay close.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, presses you, and entertains you 24/7.
Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school.
They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas.
At Carrie's, find skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boy shorts, and long pants. neckties, socks, and
You
more.
can even have your uniform skirts custom made.
Check out our selection of embroidered cotton shirts.
That's Carey's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Call us at 393-0758 or 817-0758.
Renovating your apartment? Furnishing an Airbnb? Or just want that hotel-grade look in your home? Then stop by Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall. Get the complete queen package for just $899 or go king for just $999. Not looking for a complete bedroom? No problem. Shop our hotel inventory piece by piece. Ceiling fans for just $40. Love seats for $150. Bed benches starting at $50. Floor lamps for $65. Nightstands starting at $60. Queen headboard and frame sets for just $175. Plus mirrors, desks, king mattresses, king headboards and frames, and so much more. Whether you're furnishing one room or an entire property, we've got liquidation prices on quality hotel inventory. And yes, local delivery is available. Visit Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall or call 359-2372 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. The government's new one tax system already facing pushback, with some questioning whether it could pave the way for more taxes. Janelle Longley has the story.
Government new one tax system appears to have created more questions than answers. After government announced the new system, residents took to social media, some under the impression that the Bahamas Identification Number, or BIN, represents a new tax. Others questioned whether the move could eventually lead to income tax, something government has not announced.
Technocrats are certainly making the recommendation that we need to move to a progressive tax system, which in and of itself is an income tax or a form of income tax. The politicians fear it for what the backlash is.
Fidelity CEO Gowan Bowe says if government does pursue additional taxes, the country needs comprehensive tax reform, not simply another tax.
To the politicians who, if you will, lack the testicular fortitude to say that we are moving in a new direction, but we have researched it, and to the taxpayer, it is not going to be an undue burden, because what we are not doing is just adding a new tax. We are harmonizing. Now, for those who've been getting away with not paying their fair share, yeah, you should fear this. For those who've been having to shoulder the burden of more, then you shouldn't fear it.
The timing of the rollout is also under scrutiny. There are fewer than 2 weeks between the announcement and the opening of registration, with government expecting to begin streamlining business services through the system in November. Bowe says a new platform will mean little if the same long-standing problems follow it, particularly as government promotes the system as a one-stop shop for tax-related services.
Garbage in, garbage out. And really, it was under the premise that no matter how sophisticated or how advanced the system, if you're putting nonsense in, you're going to get nonsense out. I would carry that a little bit further, and systems are only as effective and efficient as those that are using them, both on the administration side, so that's going to be on the tax authority side, and the end user.
And he's not alone. Bahamas Chamber of Commerce Chairman Don Williams says members have been flooding his phone with questions. Following a meeting with the Department of Inland Revenue this morning, Williams says an educational campaign is planned, but several concerns must be addressed before the system is fully implemented.
That obviously, one, it's going to roll out an additional tax, a new system again. What is the cost? Obviously, there's a cost to a new system. We just got a new system about 2 years ago. So how is the government now ensuring that these costs are not transferred to businesses? And then are we being efficient? Is this the best use of funds?
Those concerns include whether government has the technology and staff to operate the system effectively, along with broader questions about tax reform and transparency. With registration set to begin next month, the public and business community are now waiting for clearer answers. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Well, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is rejecting the government's approach to the One Tax Bahamas system, accusing the administration of rolling it out without clearly explaining its impact on taxpayers. While officials say the system will streamline tax and fee payments through the Department of Inland Revenue, Pintard is demanding Finance Minister Michael Alcides provide greater clarity on the initiative and what it will mean for Bahamians.
When a government fundamentally changes how citizens are identified and tracked within the tax system, the announcement should be made and defended by the elected minister responsible. Instead, Bahamians are being asked to accept a potentially transformative policy with virtually no explanation from the government's political leadership. Public servants should not be left to answer questions that only the minister can answer. The second concern is the reckless implementation timetable. Bahamians are being told that this system will be introduced with barely enough time for citizens and businesses to understand its implication, to test its functionality, to train their staff and adapt their operations. In an era of growing data breaches and cybercrime, the silence of the government is unacceptable. Where was the consultation? Who tested the system? Which business groups were consulted? Which taxpayers reviewed the registration process? And which privacy experts assessed the risk? Which small businesses were asked whether the platform is practical and user-friendly? Government should be designing systems of this importance with the public, not imposing systems on the public. And most troubling of all is the mindset behind the initiative. The government appears to believe that digitization automatically equals progress. It does not. And that is why the opposition is raising these concerns and rejecting the government's approach to this matter.
But you all have an understanding of what is being said. Pintard feels as though it should not move forward on the timeline it is. We understand this will be implemented September 1st. Many business owners, even many I've spoken with today, said that it's to bring, and we heard Bo talk about it, it's to kind of sort of combine and be able to pinpoint what a person owns, how they're doing business. All of that will be identified under this now new BIN number. Whereas it's now perhaps scattered in different areas and different portals, it'll be one portal for one individual. Therefore, you will know what this individual is making, what they're earning, and all the rest. What they own as well, because then the government has to tax that, like real property tax, for example. But again, it is still not clear because Ellington and Peggy, it was kind of just dropped on the Bahamian people and given a date of September 1st. People still are not sure exactly how to even go about acquiring a BIN number. I was told by one business owner that the amount of application or the application to actually get it is a whole other thing, and so it really should not be rolled out in this manner.
Shanique, the first time I really heard about it was when I asked you what we would be talking about. And you say, BIN? I said, BIN, what's BIN? Fee, fi, fo, farm, what has BIN? And after that, it was dropped inside a WhatsApp group that I'm a part of at 4:27 p.m. An invitation for a virtual tour. Unacceptable. When you fail to communicate, I've said it time and time again, you are failing. I mean, how can you go from excellent communication during the campaign to this? that the citizens don't know what is going on. Business people have questions, and you have September 1st. Do better. Do better. This is the Progress Administration. This approach, dealing with this being fee, fi, fo, it's not progress. People should not be scratching their head and trying to figure out what is going on, because why? It is too important to businesses. And so you have to do better. I think if I make a recommendation, I dare to. You cannot go forward September 1st. You have to do public awareness campaign. So the least amount of me could understand what it is about. But dropping it in WhatsApp group and inviting people for virtual tours ain't good enough.
So what do you mean? This was done late this afternoon?
4:27.
For a virtual tour?
Invitation for a virtual tour, for explanations, and you could put questions and all of that. Some people don't operate at that level of technology. So if you're inviting seniors to go on a virtual tour, if you had a town hall meeting, if you had information circulating months ago, by now they would have some familiarity with what you are proposing. It is unfair and unfortunate that it's come to this so quickly.
Shanique, I think it's a little ad hoc the way they're doing this. I remember this about 2, maybe 3 years ago that Inland Revenue implemented a new system that they've had year after year challenges with it. People have been having challenges with it. Inland Revenue have had their own challenges with keeping their system up and going for people when it go time to renew licenses and stuff. And I'm quite clear if they want to bring things that you can have everything in one portal for an individual, or however they want to kind of modernize the tax system. I think, unfortunately though, I think for them to try to roll it out in the middle of a term, I think now is a good time to bring it out and try to get people to understand it. This is something we want to implement in the new calendar year coming up. It will give people time to kind of play with it, understand it, become familiar with it. But just to throw it on people rolling out September 1st, I think it's a bit ad hoc doing business that way. The business community must be able to understand and clearly comprehend what it is you're doing, what direction you're taking, so that people can be a part of it and not feel frustrated in trying to do their business and renew businesses and stuff.
So this is the, Shanique, this is the WhatsApp I was telling you about, and I touched the link attached. And let me see.
Yeah. What does it say?
Sorry, we can't find that page.
So the virtual meeting did not happen, or the virtual tour did not happen?
I know.
Or maybe they took it down.
Let's do things a little more systematic, a little more organized, man. You're dealing with business, and sometimes these conglomerates, these huge business, they can handle these things because they got people in place. But small businesses, small little mom and pop businesses, it's a challenge. Sometimes you got individual businesses.
But Ellington and Peggy, some of them, and a businessman is messaging me right now as we are live, that listen, too much stealing, and we know this, people have been getting away for eons with what they own and fleecing the system and all the rest of it. So he is saying that too much stealing is going on, particularly by big business. He says, listen, honest people need not be afraid of this new tax identification system. All you need is a new number. I'm not sure if it's that simple.
I think it's more than that. They need to know what it is about. Honest people, even honest people need information. Even honest people need to know what it is.
Understand, yes.
And so you just can't say, don't be afraid because you're honest. You have to inform even honest people. There's no excuse.
See, because Shanique, there are many little intricacies in Inland Revenue. There are some benefits that are if Inland Revenue for small businesses, and they keep it a secret from you, And it's a secret. You got to go and pry in it. And when you find out about it, you send in and check on it. They don't respond to you. So while like Peggy losing, even small business people or whatever it is, yes, you people stealing and doing things. But again, if you're putting in a new system, It needs to have time where people can become familiar with it, understand it, know how to navigate their way through it.
Yes, and you cannot try to correct one thing, which is corruption,
and
by creating confusion. Does that make sense?
Doesn't make
sense.
Yeah, and I want to, by the way, Eyewitness News, obviously, we did a daily poll. We normally do this on any big story. We did one on this one. And so here is what the new tax portal system that the Davis administration plans to introduce is revealed by many of you. You all go up with the TP, please. Go up with the TP as we look at this.
Boy, I tell you. Where is they going?
I don't
They
know.
going past?
Please go back. And so we went, obviously we went online today to get some of your views on this. And so here's how you all responded. 5% tax services easier to manage. 48% of you voted, but only if the system works reliably. So yeah. Now 43% voted no, it could create more complications. So people seem to be, and then 4% say they're not sure. People in the main are saying, you know what, good, clean up the system, because the more taxes you collect, the better the better BPL can stay on, the better the roads are, and all this stuff.
Hopefully.
Well, we hope. But do not just drop it on the people like that. Do not have a virtual walkthrough. Listen, we could barely get on, many people, and you want to have a virtual walkthrough. And so people are not trying no, they're not at all trying to not pay taxes or not pay to the state what is owed to the state, but they're saying do it properly. That's all people are saying.
Inform people, educate people. It is your responsibility. It is your duty. It is a part of good governance.
Yeah. And so, listen, we're going to continue to follow that, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, have you all eaten at IHOP anytime recently? Ever? We're gonna show you a fight that happened there at IHOP, and tonight management is speaking out. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Nassau on all family islands. Get ready on Saturday, November 7th, when The Secret Production presents Culture Shock 2026, starring The Fireman, Camputan, The Cultural Warrior Sizzler,
Dry cry, even tears, even my heart cry,
and Anthony B. Saturday, November 7th at the Nassau Cruiseport Amphitheater. For Skybox inquiries, call 242-552-7505. Get your tickets now.
I'm so sad he does a rock.
A lot of people know CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store thanks to our beautiful retail stores. But what you may not know is contractors love shopping here as well. Whether you need a flat rack of shingles, a truckload of drywall, or a pallet of joint compound, we can make it happen with unbeatable pricing, fast turnaround times, and excellent communication. That's why contractors love shopping with CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
Marco's Pizza, Marco's Pizza, something never tasted so good.
Marco's Summer Party is bringing the fun. Choose 2 large one-topping pizzas with a 2-liter soda for just $34.95. Or grab a big square deal, 1 medium, 1-topping pizzas with boneless wings for just $39.95. Enter to win weekly Baja Bay water passes and your very own Marco's Summer Party pack all summer long. Marco's Pizza, summer never tasted so good.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
A viral video showing a brawl in the IHOP's Marathon Road location is under review tonight. Management is speaking out as the video of the incident continues to circulate online. In a public notice, IHOP Bahamas says it is taking the matter seriously, conducting an internal review and working with law enforcement. Now, if you all have seen that video of the fight, I don't know if it was staff and patrons, not sure exactly what it is, but management says appropriate action will be taken in accordance with the law, but it is declining to comment further while the investigation continues. Now, IHOP says the safety and well-being of customers and staff remain a top priority. The Marathon Road location remains open and operating as normal. You all, in all this heat, there are people there behaving the way that they are behaving. Is it any wonder businesses, particularly restaurants, are performing the way they are in the Bahamas?
I wonder what time that was. What time? Because I know they used to be open 24 hours.
I think so.
So what time that was? And that was and looked like the entire business was fighting. I mean, I don't get it. Why y'all don't go home in the night?
And why? You know, it is quite vexing to see. It is almost like these are unexposed, uncultured people.
And that's a family
atmosphere.
IHOP has always been known as that.
I think our people just need to. Something happened in the midst of us as a people. we just gonna fight. We just
sound like a scripture.
The simplest little thing that occur, a little misunderstanding, you may have gotten the wrong order, or I mean, and we ready to fight.
That
you
was
see
a
pancakes
all-out.
tossing, syrup and sweet by and by. No, seriously, no. We have lost our way in who we have become. Our value system has drastically changed, and we will start a brawl in a hurry.
But you know what it's for? That same TikTok moment, that viral videos.
Yeah, because
somebody have a camera.
Yeah.
In all of that brawl, I would be running for cover. Somebody got a camera.
And they ain't get hit.
They ain't never get hit. They never involved in it.
Someone is conveniently recording.
Yes.
So,
yes.
No, there's something wrong with us, something wrong with our behavior, something wrong with how we resolve conflicts. We've changed as a people from who we used to be. And so we don't know how to resolve conflicts. We can't rationale and discuss things, and somebody walk away from a situation. That is something of yesterday now. And we fight for every little simple thing, and we find ourselves, somebody, when you start a fight like that, knives are in that place. Other objects are in that place. Somebody could be hurt. Seriously, a fight can go anywhere. And that's how people end up dead. And then everybody is sorry, and everybody's crying, oh, this and that, and the next thing. We need to think. Young people,
and calm down.
Think, slow down, calm down. Everybody want to hurt somebody, want to juke up somebody, want to shoot somebody, want to knock somebody down. Let's take a break now. Please.
Absolutely, and also be focused on the things that matter. For example, the new school year. We will talk about this right now, about the police aspect of it, but there's the academic aspect of it. But let's go first to the police. The police says, you know, with the 2026-2027 school year, less than a week away, they are warning that back-to-school enforcement will extend beyond the classroom. Assistant Commissioner of Police responsible for school policing, Dr. Chaswell Hannah, says police officers will monitor school campuses, including parent interactions with teachers and administrators. He says parents who cause disturbances on school grounds could face police action, while barbershops will also be monitored for students who should be in the classroom. Hannah says the effort is aimed at keeping violence and other illegal activities involving young people on a downward trend.
We are going to be focusing on a number of trends we noticed during the last academic year. One of them being parents who have been coming on campuses and creating disturbances with school administrators and teachers. We want to let parents know right off the bat, we're not going to tolerate that. We placed a number of parents before the courts last academic year. We want our parents to know that campuses are safe and secure environments, and should you have a discrepancy with an administrator or teacher, do so in a respectful and peaceful manner. We're also going to be looking out for students who, for some reason, find themselves in barbershops during school hours. We want to let barber shop owners know and operators know that we are going to be looking for that. We want our students to go to school on time. So between the hours of 9 and 3, they should not be in a barber shop. They should be in school.
Now, police are also focusing on the threat of dangerous drugs making their way onto school campuses. Last year, first responders were called to several campuses, including private schools, after students became ill following suspected drug use. Hannah says those incidents will not be overlooked, with school safety remaining a key priority as students return to the classroom.
To raise the awareness of all of the marijuana edibles that have been on the market as of recent, Drug Enforcement Unit has been seizing a number of those edibles as of late. So we want to raise the awareness. We're going to share a number of public service announcements that the Royal Bahamas Police Force has produced in conjunction with the Ministry of Education. We want students to be careful of the packaging. The packaging looks similar to popular brands that children would normally purchase, so we want to be aware of that. And we want the students to come to school, be ready to learn. The SROs are going to be there to support the school security officers, the crossing guards, and we look forward to a safe school environment.
So it's good to hear that police will be very prominent on school campuses. We know what happened this semester or the last semester rather, with the police having to be called to campuses or students rushed to the hospital because of edibles, of violence happening on school campuses, fights around school campuses. And so it's good to know that the police is obviously speaking out and has a plan ahead of the new school year to be able to at least keep peace on the campuses, Peggy and Ellington.
It is good to see that they are being proactive and they're giving public notice in advance, parents, how you behave when you're dealing with each other and with teachers and administration. Because children are watching, we have enough concern with our children than to have parents acting out. So I'm glad that the police are ahead of this, and I look forward to seeing that it is played out in a very positive way.
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful thing that we hear coming from the police, and that they are saying that they're ready for the opening of the school year. Shanique, one of the things that really irks me on when parents go to school and carry on badly, I think it needs to be made known, and I'm not sure of the exact penalty. I know there are penalties, but I think our legislators need to look at it, and if it needs to be strengthened, I think it should be strengthened. But parents need to know that as you don't touch a police where it has become assault on a police officer, you don't touch the police, you don't touch our nurses, you don't touch teachers either.
You don't touch nobody.
As a matter of fact, you don't touch nobody.
It's assault.
But definitely you don't go around no school carrying on.
Absolutely.
Behave yourself. If there is a matter, go there in a respectful manner, resolve the matter.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, you as a parent need to be an example to your student, to your children and the other students in that school. And so we need to make sure that we enforce these things and don't give nobody no pass, because people believe that they can go and they can get away when they do these foolishness. And so I am happy to hear this, and let's talk to our kids as they leave for school about these drugs and things. Be careful taking things from people, taking things from other students. And of course, when we find these things, we need to follow where these students get them from, who brought them to the school, and deal with the home or wherever they would have received them from.
And this is important for society. If we begin to manage our children, if we begin to discipline parents, and this is where we can start healing our land, healing the way we communicate with each other, the way we train our children, because misbehavior is a learned behavior. And so if we get this now in our schools from the very beginning up to senior, we probably can put a dent in what we see happening in our society, and those after school fights. Hopefully we see an end to those.
Yeah, and we're also hopeful that the police presence means that there is not a distraction for students learning, because you all saw the national exam results. While there's been a marginal improvement in certain subjects, it still hovers around D, but a marginal improvement. Mathematics is still an area where students are falling down. And so the thing is, with them not being distracted, whether it's with the edibles or fights and getting into arguments and all the wrong things on campuses, it is hopeful that perhaps then they will shift to the things that do matter on campuses, like, for example, in the classroom.
Yeah, so if we get police where they're supposed to be, and teachers where they're supposed to be, and parents doing what they're supposed to do, probably the grades will increase.
Absolutely. Listen, I thank you, Ellington. I thank you very much, Peggy. Thank you very much. Thank you all also for hanging out this evening and for participating. Certainly enjoyed that. I don't know if the news teased it, but you want to tune in to Eyewitness News tomorrow evening as well as Beyond the Headlines. Yes, that's right. A very important show and newscast tomorrow evening as we look at some key areas and features in the Bahamas in the last, let's say, from May to now. You
3
understand?
months.
Yes, you get it.
Days.
And so absolutely this is what we're doing tomorrow evening. So you want to tune in for that. It's been good having you hang out. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Great to have you all tuned in. Look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. Until then, have a great evening. I know